Greetings, 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 grand rising, big up to all what's going on. This is your brother Chief, man. What's popping, grand rising. Wagwan. Let's get into a little bit of information here. First off, let me just make sure I have audio on Facebook so we could get this in. All right, so we got that audio on Facebook. Let's get into this. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope you're having an amazing 24 so far. Happy Sunday. And as in the sun, maybe out wherever you at. So let's celebrate that, right? First off, I want to, give thanks and acknowledge all my ancestors. I always honor the righteous ones and just thankful for the continued guidance and just opening up my mind to see things for what they truly are and here as a motivation to teach and reach, the people and drop knowledge, you know what I mean? So with that being said, I chose this topic today solely because I know on Sundays, it's a custom where in the culture, so to speak, we always go off in the kitchen and, oh well, today's Sunday, come home for Sunday dinner, we cooking all these fried foods and all these different type of foods, but we are never paying attention, or we are not cognizant to the things that we're eating, the foods that's being promoted, you know what I mean, and what's available in the market, particularly in the corporation, the United States, right? So let's go through a list of these foods or products, that are actually banned in other countries but are still being used here. And then you'll start to ask yourself the question, well, or not necessarily ask the questions, but you'll start seeing how so many people are so sick, here in the US. And of course, this video is only for knowledge purposes. Don't believe anything that I say, because if I ask you to believe me, in the word believe is the word lie. So by default, I'm actually lying to you. So don't believe anything that I say. You'll also realize there is a financial gain, and I'm talking about in trillions and billions of dollars, well, in billions, potentially trillions of dollars in the pharmaceutical market, to kind of like not necessarily promote good eating habits, because if you don't get sick, then you won't be able to go to the doctor. If you don't go to the doctor, then they won't be able to do the prescriptions, you dig? So it's all part of a huge business. And it's my opinion only, that, promoting unhealthy eating habits and getting people sick is part of the monetary system, all right, to gain financial, whatever we want to call it. So let's get into this real quick. I created a list of documents. I'm going to share my screen, and hey, do as you may with the information, all right? I'm only the messenger here to drop the information for y'all. All right, let's get into this. And I always tell people, right, while this thing is it's populating, I always tell people like this: whatever happens to us is our fault, whether it's the lack of knowledge, which is ignorance, or we just choose not to do anything about it, right? But you can't say you don't know when somebody actually brings you the information. Now, what you do with the information is totally up to you. But now you are no longer ignorant. And I always tell people, don't allow your ignorance to turn into stupidity. Not calling anybody stupid, but I'm just saying. They say that ignorance is bliss. But to me, it's only bliss when it does not become stupidity. When you know better, you're supposed to do better. So I'm bringing the information to you, and hopefully you will do better. Okay? List of foods banned in other parts of the world, but still used in the US, and that may include products or certain chemicals, whatever the case is, that's put in foods. All right, here we go. Number one, and that's in no particular order. That's just my own order. All right. Chlorinated chicken. Uh, Many people, not just our people, are big on eating chicken. Me personally, I don't eat meat, and of course, I ate fish once in a while, but I cut that off completely now because my body's reacting to it. And when you are stepping into another vibration, into another frequency, it's a challenge. Trust me, it's a challenge. I got to tell you, it's a challenge, right? But you have to be disciplined, and I've broken down exactly what discipline is or it means when it comes to your faculties. Your discipline is your 12 disciples. All right. And we have to activate them. Now, once you start activating your disciples or your discipline, you have to teach them. You have to you have to nurture them. You have to guide them so they could become mature and be exactly what you want them to be, so that they're able to follow you, so that you're able to become fishers of men. All this is allegory. Okay. So with that being said, it's a challenge when it comes to eating. It's a challenge when it comes to being disciplined. It's a challenge because due to financial restraints or challenges, people tend to revert, you know what I'm saying, in regards to eating foods that are less wealthier for them. And I'm using the word wealthy opposed to healthy for my own reasons. Okay. I would rather be wealthy physically than be healthy physically, for the mere fact that the word hell is in there. But maybe I'm paranoid, but that's just the way my mind works. Right. But with that being said, even if I'd stopped eating meat for a very long time, I ate fish, periodically, but my body started to respond and react. And especially when I tell myself, hey, you know what, I'm going to stop eating fish, okay, because I'm raising the vibrations of my body, I'm changing my DNA structure, I'm changing my cells, and all that. And then I kind of like started eating fish once in a while again, and all of a sudden I started realizing that a certain odor was coming through my nostrils every time I ate the fish, it came clear to me in a dream that I had to just stop eating the fish completely, because that's what's causing that. My body is reacting to eating fish, especially when I told myself I was going to stop, period. All right. So your body will talk to you. You feel me? So just sharing a little bit of my personal journey. So I've cut out fish completely now, even if the meat was already cut off years ago. All right. So we're talking about chlorinated chicken. Let's get into this. What is it? Chicken washed with chlorine, okay, or antimicrobial rinses to kill bacteria, making poor hygiene during processing. The food products that they are packaged in chicken products in the grocery stores, chicken nuggets. Yes, the chicken nuggets we give our children. All right. Fast food chicken. All right. Potential effects. Chlorine itself is considered safe in small amounts, but the process may lead to a false sense of hygiene, potentially allowing bacteria to remain if hygiene standards are poor during farming or processing. Okay. And who's to know, who's not monetizing, but monitoring the process that these people are going through with all this chicken? Okay. Who's overseeing these things? Because it's all about making money at the end of the day, right? Also, too much chloride can cause symptoms such as trouble breathing, vomiting, burning eye, and nose. Number two, genetically modified organisms. Most of us know this as GMOs. What is it? Crops or animals modified using genetic engineering to enhance traits like pest resistance or increased yields. Now, this is just kind of like reiterating what I just said, right? By any means necessary, the yield must be increased to meet the demand. So since people love chicken on a whole, chickens don't mass produce naturally like that. So they have to use other means, genetically or genetical means, to increase the yields of those chickens. All right. And that may, or most times, is a potential health risk. And those are the foods that they're in. Okay. Example, corn, as in corn chips and corn syrup, soy, tofu. Examples are tofu, soy milk, soy-based snacks, canola oil, sugar beets used in sugar, and processed foods containing these ingredients. The potential health effects are alleged risk include allergenicity and antibiotic resistance. Now, allergenicity or genesins, pardon me, okay, they are pretty much it's the risk of cancer in the body. So that's all that means. All right. Environmental concerns include loss of biodiversity and pesticide overuse. Now, what does this mean in simple terms? Allergenicity, sometimes genetically modified foods might cause allergic reactions in people, especially if a new protein or new proteins are introduced that the body doesn't recognize. Antibiotic resistance. Genetically modified crops or animals may be engineered with bionetic, resistant genes, which could make real antibiotics less effective for treating illnesses in humans and animals. All right. Loss of biodiversity. Planting the same genetically modified crops everywhere can wipe out a variety of plants and animals, making the ecosystem less diverse and more fragile. All right. Now, that may not make a lot of sense to many of us, right? I mean, to me, it kind of make a lot of sense, but since I'm not an expert on that, I can't give you extreme details as to exactly how it happens, or, pretty much all I'm just saying is I'm not an expert on this. So please do your own research and don't believe anything that I say, right? Me personally, I'm on a continued journey, to continue to eat I'm wealthier, take care of my body more, be a little focused of what I put in my system. Because why? If it is said that the kingdom of heaven is within us, then apparently we are treating the kingdom of heaven, right? And if the kingdom of heaven is within us, the concept of what we know as God, or what we call God, therefore is in us. The I am is in us. And due to the things that we eat, the things we consume, the things we listen to, right? The thoughts that we keep, it is capable and it is possible to kind of like annihilate, all right, the higher self, the I am in us, where the I am in us could literally depart, right? And then a lower entity could step in, because nothing remains void in this physical realm. You see what I'm saying? So if you're going to alienate the higher self in you by the things you eat, the thoughts you keep, then guess what? You are allowing yourself to be exposed as a portal to all these different low vibrational energies or entities. So it's that serious if the kingdom of heaven is within you. And if God is in heaven, you want to make sure God stays in heaven. All right, if that makes sense, which is your inner self. Pesticides and overuse. Some genetically modified crops are designed to survive strong pesticides, leading farmers to use more chemicals. This can harm the environment and possibly affect human health or wealth if those chemicals end up in our food and water. And most times they do. All right. Number 3, RBGH, recombinant bovine growth hormone. What is it? Okay. Synthetic hormone injected into cows increase milk production. Like I said before, they need to increase the yield and the production. And these animals naturally do not produce enough, okay, to meet the demand of the population. So they have to do it artificially. They have to do it through other genetical means. All right. Food products include dairy products like milk, cheese, yogurt, butter, ice cream made from treated cows. Potential health effects: increased IGF 1 levels in milk may be linked to certain cancers. Treated cows are more likely to develop mastitis, mastitis, leading to antibiotics being used, which may contribute to the antibiotic resistance. Now, mastitis is potential cancer, breast cancer, so to speak, right? And it's not just in cows, but also in women. It's the pain, painful breasts, pain in the breast, lumps in the breast. So all these are symptoms of mastitis. All right. In simple terms, increased IGF levels in milk. When cows are treated with hormones to produce more milk, it can raise the level of the substance called IGF-1 in the milk. High levels of IGF-1 have been linked to an increase of risk of certain types of cancer, like I just said. Mastitis in cows are treated with hormones are more likely to get an infection in their udders called mastitis. To treat this infection, farmers often give the cows antibiotics. All right. And then because you are eating the meat of the cow, then those antibiotics get into your system, and then it causes you to get the cancer as well. All right. Antibiotic resistance. If antibiotics are used too much, bacteria can become resistant to them, meaning the antibiotics won't work as well as when people or animals really need them in the future. So basically what that's saying is, because they're producing so much of them on a mass level, using all these biotics on those animals, sometimes they become immune to it, right? And it doesn't work. But the bottom line is, there's not enough how would I put it, systems in place to really monitor what these people are doing. And since it's all about making money, they put those things on the shelf in your stores, and then you buy them, and that's what causes these health issues. All right. Brominated vegetable oil, BVO. What is it? An emulsifier and stabilizer derived from bromine, used to keep flavors eventually distributed in drinks. Food products such as citrus flavored sodas, example, Mountain Dew, Fanta, Squirt, Gatorade, which is formerly known, all right? And potential effects linked to neurological effects, skin lesions, thyroid issues with long-term exposure. Artificial food dyes, example, yellow number 5, yellow number 6, red number 40, etc., etc. But we're talking about food dyes on a whole. What are they, or what they are? Synthetic dyes made from petroleum, used to enhance food appearances. Food products such as candy, example, Skittles, M&Ms, sodas, example, orange soda, fruit punch, chips, examples are Doritos, Cheetos, baked goods, and cereals, example, Fruit Loops. Also, these dyes can also be found in prescription drugs and cosmetics. All these things are banned in major foreign countries, global countries, but they're still being used in the US. Okay? Potential effects: hyperactivity and behavioral issues in children, allergic reactions, cancer, asthma, hives, skin irritation, disrupt the immune system, and potential carcinogenicity, ability of a substance to cause cancer or increase the likelihood of developing cancer, like I said earlier. Potassium bromate. What is it? A flour treatment agent used to strengthen dough and improve texture in baked goods. Foods and products: bread on a whole, rolls, bagels, pizza dough, and pastries. Potential effects. Considered a possible human carcinogen, meaning that, like I said before, the ability to cause cancer in the body, linked to kidney damage and thyroid problems. A lot of our sisters or people are suffering from thyroids. Well, guess what? Pay attention to bread, the rolls, the bagels, the pizza, the dough, and the pastries. Because why? Because of potassium bromate that they put in these products to strengthen the dough and improve the texture. Okay, that's a result of those side effects. Okay. Now, what the next one we have is it's pronounced isodicarbonamide. All right, ADA. What is it? A chemical used in bleach, flour, and conditioned dough, also used in yoga mats and foam products. Examples of the foods, fast foods, the fast food buns. Example as in McDonald's, you are giving your children Burger King, Subway, formerly, right? Frozen diners and pre-packaged baked goods. All these foods are banned. Okay, even in the McDonald's and Burger Kings and Subways in major countries out of the US, but they are still being used here in the United States. Potential effects: respiratory issues and allergic reactions, skin sensitization, asthma, cancer, urethane, a known carcinogen, which again that may cause cancer. The amount of urethane in bread is increased when bread is toasted. So even when we are taught, hey, you know what? Throw your bread in the toaster, put a little butter on there. Guess what? That in itself increases the urethane. And that's a carcinogen, which means it helps in developing cancers in the body. Okay? Ractopamine. What is it? A beta agonist drug used to promote leanness in livestock by increasing muscle growth. Because remember, the mass production, right? Demand. They have to do certain things to make sure that they're able to produce. All right? Nationally. Food products, example as in pork, bacon, ham, sausages. I know those are a lot of the foods that we are taught to be soul food. But remember, soul food is actually the food that was mentioned to us in Genesis chapter 1. Foods from the earth that only have seeds. That is soul food. Soul food is not all the dead food that we were taught. No, that is the death of the soul. It may be called soul food, but they never told you how the soul is going to respond to those type of foods. It's bringing death to your soul. And that's what we are being taught to be soul food. It is not soul food, meaning that food for the living. It is only soul food for the dead, to kill your soul. All right? And we have beef, the steaks, the ground beef, the jerky, and turkey. For those of you getting ready to celebrate your Thanksgiving, and that's a whole nother story. As us being the original indigenous people that have no idea what this Thanksgiving thing means. I don't celebrate these things. I don't eat these things. You feel me? Potential effects. It could cause cardiovascular issues, increase heart rate and blood pressure, headaches, hyperactivity, and muscle tremors in humans. Concerns exist over residues in meat. Number 9, farmed salmon, artificial colorants. What is it? Artificial astaxanthin, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and canthaxanthin added to feed to turn the grayish farmed salmon pink. So when you see that salmon looking all pink and it was gray. And they added that in there, those artificial colorants in the salmon to make it look more presentable, more appetizing, okay? Food products, farm salmon in grocery stores, salmon sushi, smoked salmon. Potential effects, high doses of canthaxanthin, again, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, can cause vision issues, retinopathy, disease of the retina, which results in impairment or loss of vision and allergic reactions. Number 10, high fructose corn syrup, HFCS. What is it? A sweetener made from cornstarch containing fructose and glucose. Foods / products, we have sodas, candies, sweetened cereal, condiments, example, ketchup, barbecue sauce, and baked goods. All the things that's being promoted to us, all the things that they're teaching us to eat, my brothers and sisters, it is killing our people. The buns that you're eating with the burgers, not just the buns now. Oh, well, let's throw some ketchup on there. It's killing you. It's killing our people. The baked goods are killing our people. Man, I'm sharing all this information with you, not to impress you, man, but to impress upon you that we got to live longer so that we're able to make the changes that we need. You got to be physically wealthy. Your mind got to be in a wealthy state of mind. We got to take care of ourselves, and nobody's forcing us to do these things. Yes, they're making it more difficult to have other options, because why? That's what you could afford. That's what they're putting on the stores. The prices are a little more attractive and based on the budget, because what they do is they're not paying you enough, but everything is going up, right? So the cost of living is going up, but your check is not going up. And if they do give you a 50 cents raise or a 25 cents raise or 75 cents raise, then they're going to add $2 on a product that you normally buy. So when it's all said and done, they're literally keeping us in a state of survival, okay, in a state of the crab in the barrel mentality. You know what? We're going to struggle, and that's not life, man. That is not life. That is not living. That is called survival. And anytime you are in a state of survival, there's going to be competition. There's going to be, hatred. There's going to be animosity. There's going to be jealousy. We have to step away from that. Let us proceed. Potential effect, okay, on the high fructose syrup, linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, leaky gut, small holes in your in your intestines, right? Affect the brain development, and fatty liver disease due to spikes in blood and sugar insulin. Number 11, elestra fat substitute. What is it? A fat substitute that passes through the body without being absorbed. So it's going through your body and it's not being absorbed because the body cannot break it down. You feel me? Your body is a machine. And if the machine cannot break it down, it's going to affect your body. Your liver is going to be affected. Examples of those foods are what? Fat-free chips. Example, Lay's, Whoa chips, snack crackers, all those sugar-free products you think that's good for you because it has sugar-free in there. No, man, it's killing you as well. Potential effects, causes gastrointestinal distress, example, diarrhea, cramping, and inhibits the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K. You see that? So it hinders the absorption of all those vitamins that your body needs, primarily due to its inability to absorb by the body, potentially leading to anal leakage in some individuals. So some of y'all are walking around here with just leaky butts, period, and you don't know what's going on. You know, underwear always wet and soiled, and you have no idea why. Because you got a leaky gut. Now, it might seem funny, but it's not, man. This is real stuff, man. And we're feeding these things to our babies, our children, because we are not teaching them discipline from a very young age. We are not teaching them how to activate their disciples from a very young age. So now you at the table. It's what time is it now? It's 1:20, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. You're preparing yourself, going to the store, getting all these killer foods and feeding the babies. Man, we got to do better, man. And like I said before, I know it could be a financial challenge. Well, that should motivate us more to step up as a collective and say enough is enough. We're not going to allow you to kill us anymore. We're not going to allow you to get us sick anymore. It is all done by design, man. The people who own the corporation don't care. They don't eat those things. They don't feed it to their children. When are we going to say enough is enough? When are we going to say, man, listen, our back is against the walls and we ain't doing this no more? This is not life, my people. It is not. This is the existence or the reality of the walking dead. Because you are the walking dead eating those things, because it makes you a corpse. It makes you a corpse. You are a dead man or a dead woman walking. Yes, you are alive, but you're not living. Man, let us proceed. Number 12, artificial sweeteners, example, aspartame and saccharin. What is it and what are they? Synthetic sugar substitute which little to no calories. With little to no calories. So it doesn't have the essential calories that the body needs. What products do they have them in? Diet sodas. So they give you all these sugary sodas that's causing diabetes, high blood pressure, and all these different diseases, right? And a disease is literally a malfunction in the body. That's all it is. It's a disease. The body's not at ease. The body's not in its natural state. So, hey, you know what? Since the one we gave you with all the sugars is getting you fat, let's give you another one that's called a diet soda. Not realizing it is still causing issues in the body. Sugar-free gum. Well, you know, the gum we give you have all the sugars. It's creating diabetes and all these different things. Let's give you the sugar-free one. Low-calorie desserts, protein shakes. All these things are getting you sick. What are the potential health effects? Headaches, weight gain. Now, the ones with sugar was causing obesity, but let's give you the sugar-free one, is doing the same thing. Weight gain, blood pressure, sugar control, a weakened immune system, dizziness, and potential cardiovascular carcinogenicity in high doses, meaning that it has a higher potential of causing cancers in the body. So even when you think they're giving you an alternative, the alternative has the same effect as the prior suggestion. Okay? All right. Number 13, trans fats, partially hydrogenated oils. What are they? Artificial fats created by hydrogenating vegetable oil to extend shelf life and enhance texture. Foods, example, margarine. Go into your refrigerator right now. What are you cooking with right now? Check the labels, the shortening, the packaged snacks, example, crackers, cookies, fried fast foods, and frozen pizzas. A lot of people, a lot of parents, they don't want to take the time to nurture their children and raise their children the way they're supposed to. In other words, be guardians to them and not pay rent, because we are paying rent to raise our children. That's why it's called parents, right? Opposed to being guardians. Why do you think when the courts take your children, they don't call those people parents? They call them guardians, because that's what's supposed to be done. The only problem is those guardians are not the proper guardians for your sons and daughters. So now you're paying rent. You are renting your children from the system. What does it have to do with the foods, Chief? Well, let me explain that to you, right? Because you're not being guardians to your children, okay? Then you just give them anything. Oh, well, mommy, I want this, I want that. Oh, no, they're controlling you. Okay, you go ahead and have the cookie. You go ahead and have the snack. You go ahead and have the pizza because you don't want to take your time and prepare some meals. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not making a general statement here, right? But we are talking about damn near over 80-90% of the US population. So that's practically almost everybody. What are the potential risk, right? It raises bad cholesterol, LDL, lowers good cholesterol, HDL, because you have good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So some cholesterols are good for you, right? Unhealthy effect on cholesterol levels and increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. Okay? So I just wanted to come and share that bit of information with y'all, man. Now, some of you may say, well, Chief, man, listen, why do I need to care, right? Why are you doing all of this? I'm doing this because I care. I'm doing this because I love my people. All right? I'm not even monetizing these videos. I don't care about that. I care about you. I ain't got to make $1 from these videos. I ain't got to make 50 cents from these videos. I ain't got to make a penny. But I am doing it because I care about my people, man. Brothers and sisters, man, I know I've been saying this, but we have to come together on a massive scale to really make an indent in this illusion that we live in, man. Too many of us are so nonchalant. Too many of us are just, okay, you know what? It's happening. Nobody else cares, so why should I care? My job is to go to work and pay my bills. Why should we be billed to live life that the Great Spirit, the Most High, God, whatever you want to call the entity, man, whether you call it he, she, I don't care what you call it. We were not meant to pay bills. We were not meant to pay rent. We were not meant to buy food. Well, Chief, how do you know? Go ask the lion that's in the jungle. Go ask the bird that's in the desert. Not the desert, but in the jungle or in nature. Let's put it that way, nature. Go ask them. How do they survive? How do they live without paying rent? Because it is not natural to do those things. It is not natural. This is not life. It is not supposed to be our life. And we have no problem with that. Everything that's literally, and here's the thing, right? We don't have the concept of what's normal and what's abnormal. I tell people I'm abnormal. No, they may look at it as, oh, what are you talking about? I know because I know the etymology of words. And people don't think words is important. So whenever you talk to them and you use words and you change the way you speak to them, your dialogue, the way you articulate things, then they think it's funny. They laugh. And when people speak to me, they have to be aware of the things that they say because, I use certain words. So now they have to kind of curb their vocabulary, so to speak. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself because I'm good. I'm good. When you're casting spells on yourself, the power of life and death is in the tongue. Like how people don't get that. When the Great Spirit manifested things, the Great Spirit didn't put in no work. The things that everything was already created. Everything was already made. Everything was already manifested, but it was not aware of. So what did the Great Spirit say? Let there be. In other words, let it be exposed. It was already there, man. It was already there. Everything is already built. Everything that we see was already there. Everything in so-called creation, it was already there. There was never a time it was created because it always been. There's no such thing as creation. Because it always been. Whether it was there in thought, you see what I'm saying? But it was there. It just manifested. It just became something that we became aware of. So when the Great Spirit said, let there be, the Great Spirit didn't say, well, let me create this and let me create. No, let there be. Even the whole concept of let us make man in our own likeness and image, that's a fallacy because man always existed. Whether man existed as a God or in man form, okay? As in a physical form, man always existed because the man is not the body. The man is the I am. Man, I'm teaching y'all right now. That's why you cannot die because you are the I am within the body. That's the real you. So what are you feeding this I am? What did the I am say to feed me? The I am said to feed me everything from the earth that's seeded. That's what you have to eat for meat. And meat is not flesh. It became flesh, but it's not. Meat is not animal products. It became that, but it's not. Meat is the seeds of the earth, and what produces seed, that's meat. Flesh is not meat. They tricked us into thinking that. Now, I tell people, whether you think the Bible is real or not, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. The question is, did you get the message? Because it is all allegory. Meaning, it wasn't meant to be taken literally. And what is the covenant? And I've gone through this before, but I'm going to say it again for the purpose of this lesson. What is the covenant between us and the Great Spirit, or what we call God, which is actually us in a different form? Okay? But when we manifested ourselves into the physical body, what covenant did we have with ourselves? We said, listen, be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over the earth. That means you became a lord of the earth. Why aren't you a lord? Why aren't you a lady? Why don't we have dominion? Why are we being dominated? Why are we being manipulated? Manipulated by man, hence the word manipulated. Thou shalt not have no other God but me. Who is me? I am me. So who's God? I am God. No man could judge me but God. So therefore, nobody could judge you but yourself. You cannot lie to yourself. The only person that know you is you, in and out. So therefore, when you do your little actions, or you have your ill intention thoughts and actions in secret and think nobody knows, guess what? You know, because you are God. And guess who's going to judge you? You. So therefore, when you get to the point of your judgment, you face that scale of judgment. Nobody's going to be judging you, well, you did this, and no, it's going to be your own self you're looking at with your true self, where you can't even lie because you know the truth. And that's called the God of karma. The God of karma is you. That's why life is so fear, man. I tell people life is fear. People always say, oh, well, life is not fear. No, it is, because we get exactly what we deserve. You don't get what you want. You don't get what you need. No. Those are all illusions of the conscious mind. You get what you deserve. I'm going to repeat that. You don't get what you need. You don't get what you want. You get what you deserve. Because everything that you get or you want is actually a result of what you deserve because of your own actions. I'm not sure if that went over some heads, but you don't get what you want and you don't get what you need. All right. Those are just false illusions. All right. So when I do my manifestations, or when I do my invocations, whatever you want to call them, right? I summoned the universe to give me what I deserve. You see, that's more of an appropriate request, because now I'm asking with sincerity. Because a lot of times when we ask for what we want or what we need, we do it with other motives. And the motive is the issue. Some of you know damn well you don't deserve what you are asking for, you think you need or want. But you are still asking. You're still needing. You're still wanting. Ask the universe for what you deserve. And that's when you're really asking and you're really seeking in truth. And you'll see how your life is going to be. Now, what you deserve at that moment, it could be some hardship. What you deserve at that moment, it could be some challenges. What you deserve at that moment, it could be greatness. Because you never know where you're at in your growth. Right? And sometimes we have to go through the challenges. Sometimes we have to go through the pain. And sometimes it could be for a month. It could be for 3 months. It could be for a year. It could be for 10 years. It could be for 20 years. Who knows? But it's for a reason, and it's for a season. And only the timeless manifestation of who we are will stand the test of time to be the only truth. You know what I mean? So what does all have to do with, well, Chief, what are you talking about? Seem like you're going off topic. No, I'm not. I'm still talking about you as the individual, taking care of yourself, putting the right things in your body, or at least making an effort. Be a little more conscious of that and work towards things. Things don't have to happen overnight, but do it in increments. Do it in little steps. You don't just go to the gym and become Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2 days. No. You feel me? You don't just get on a ladder and jump to the top unless you have that ability, but you take it one step at a time. Sometimes if you have the ability, you may skip a step on the ladder, and that's cool. But the bottom line is we're doing it in increments. We're doing it step by step. And sometimes when you climb in a ladder, right, the ladder might rock to the left or rock to the right. So you have to stop and do a little adjustment. You may even have to take one step back and say, nah, you know what? If I make that step forward, I might fall. But don't be too hard on yourself. Don't let anybody, other people's expectations to be your expectations. Just because I'm where I'm at right now in terms of my growth and my thinking, it doesn't mean that's where you have to be right now. If you're not there, it's okay. Take your time, but use these words, this message as a form of motivation so that you could be a better you. The goal is always to become a better you, my brothers and sisters. Whether you want to become a better unrighteous you or a better righteous you, the bottom line is you are going to become better. It is really that simple. There's no in between. You cannot serve two masters at the same time. That's what it means. You cannot be righteous and unrighteous at the same time. No. However, righteousness and unrighteousness exist in you, but you cannot be both. Oh my goodness. Woo. So please, because of financial challenges, you may don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. If that's where you were at and those are certain things that you could afford, it's okay. You know what I mean? You don't have to go full throttle. You don't have to just quit today. No, take your time. You know what? I hear you, Chief. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off, okay, I'm 100% doing things the bad way right now. So I'm going to kind of cut it down. I'm going to start doing an 80-20. All right? 80% of what I'm used to, 20% of what I'm not used to. So I'm going to start changing that. You do that for a little while, and then you start working on it. Get it down to like about a 70-30. To get it down to about a 60-40. Then get it down to a 50-50. So now you're in between. Like, okay, boom. You know what I mean? I know this is not, it's still not good for me, but I can't really afford that right now. It's cool if you can't afford it, but never say you can't afford. Always say, I'm going to put myself in a position, or I'm going to work towards a position where I will be able to afford. Never tell yourself that you can. You see what I'm saying? So tell yourself, hey, you know what? I'm working towards affording this. So now you are reshaping the way you think. You are reshaping the way the universe, you make request of the universe, right? So never say that I can't afford this, but say, you know what, man? I'm working towards affording this. So right now, I'm working towards 50% of what I could afford, and the other 50%, I'm going to work on that. And then you start doing the reverse, 60-40, 70-30, 80, and then all of a sudden you're 100% eating the way you're supposed to. And you will be surprised that the universe is going to provide for you to eat the way that you are supposed to, and you will be able to afford it. Why? Because you are the architect, you are the master, you are the one orchestrating your entire life. It's your playwright. It is your script. You are the director, you are the writer, you are the producer, and you are the actor, my brothers and sisters. Nobody else but you. That's why the only business that you have is between your two ears. Everybody else are just extras, man. They're just extras in your movie. They're just extras in your play. They're just extras in your reality. And there's nothing wrong in having extras, but the extras cannot be the main character. You are the main character. And not just the main character, you are the writer, you are the director, you're the producer. So therefore, you have full control of that movie. And don't get me wrong, even me myself, man, I'm still working on my script. I'm still working on it. I'm still building and working towards it, because why? Life is ongoing. Life could never be one set thing. So we could never think, well, we have made it. No, because there's no such thing as I made it, because nothing is made. Life is absolute. It doesn't have an end. It doesn't have a beginning. So how can it be made? Even incompleteness exists. Even imperfection exists. You dig? So right now we are perfectly imperfect, because why? We were perfectly manifested by the Great Spirit, but we are imperfect in our ways, our actions, our reality, right? But it doesn't mean we can't work towards that. Work towards it. You're in control. Whenever you get that little thought to do something that you're not supposed to, that's unconstitutional to the higher self, right? You kind of say, well, get thou behind me. I don't want to deal with that right now. That's not part of my reality right now. Talk yourself out of it. That's how you start building that character. That's how you start becoming the Christ. You have to learn to tell yourself no. All right. So I'm about to conclude this build right now, conclude this video. Enjoy the rest of your continuation. I may or may not do another one later. I don't know, right? But all I know is I'm going to take a little time, a little break, go play some cards with my mom. You know, I love playing cards with my mom. We play cards at least, 3-4 times, during a 7-24-hour span, and well, of course, I use hours instead of days, because I don't like being in days, and I don't like using the word week. Sometimes I use it, but because so people can get what I'm saying. But for me personally, I rather use a 24-hour. I rather use 48 hours, 72 hours, or if I'm going to use aka a week, I would say a 24-hour, seven, a 24-hour period. You know what I'm saying? So that's for me, though. That's just my own thing. That's how I kind of like talk to myself. All right. Because I'm always conscious of the words and the spells. You dig? So yeah, I'm gonna play some cards with mom and just chill and relax and just enjoy a beautiful sun day. All right. So I wish y'all the same. And once again, man, take care of yourself, love your brothers and sisters as you love yourself. All right. Let us learn to meet our people where they're at. Let us not be too hard on our people, man, because our people have been through so much, not just with the thinking, not just with the teaching and the knowledge that we have been given in this educational system, but by the foods that we eat, the music, all those things were put in place. There were vices that were put in place intentionally, all right, to degenerate the original gods. We are the original gods of this planet, this earth. I'm talking about we, the original Americans. All right. And we had to be destroyed just for being the first. But all of it was part of the plan. You feel me? Part of our own plan, our own design, because we wrote the script. It sounded a little bit crazy, but trust, I know what I'm talking about. All right. Because why? All of this is not real. It's all an illusion. It's not real where we actually, in our natural state, in our nature state, guess what? None of this is real. But we are living it as an experience right now. So sometimes the experience could be bad. It could be so-called good. It could be so-called indifferent. But just know that anything and everything that you're going through right now, it's only the physical experience that's literally experiencing it. Yes, the higher self is aware, but it's not the one experiencing it. It is just the flesh. All right. So don't be so hard on yourself. Okay. Give yourself a tap on the shoulder. Look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? Self, flesh, you're going to be just fine. Because why? The higher self is in perfect harmony. Don't allow your outside experiences to affect your inside reality. You did? I hope all of this makes sense. So go over the list of the foods and the products and all those different things in the food and do your own independent research, please. Okay? and start making health more wealthier choices. And I'm going to continue to reiterate, okay, the only way things are going to change, first you have to change it with yourself, and then we have to change it as a collective. Okay, it's a challenge, and it's tough to come together as a collective when the individuals are not whole. All right, if we have 10 whole individuals, then we have a body of 10 people as one that's whole. But then when you have 10, 15, 20 people coming together, and then 5 of them aren't whole, then what's going to happen is going to cause disrupt. There's no equilibrium. Okay, that relationship within that body, okay, it is not how that it's not equally yoked. Okay, there's no synergy. And as we go along, when we start building and building and building, then we are going to put things in more of a structured way. We want to make sure that the people that's coming into anything that we're doing, we want to make sure that they work on themselves individually. We assist them, we help them become that wholesome individual. That is the key note of I am my brother's, sisters, and keeper. And that's why I wrote the 10 Commandments for us American Indians. Those of you who missed it, go into the video I did yesterday and you could check it out. All right. We have to stop allowing ourselves from not caring for each other. That's what we were taught. It is not part of our culture. We are a loving people. The only problem is we have learned not to love and appreciate love ourselves, but do it for others. Every other ethnic group is welcome within our circle. We always treat them as a brother or a sister, but we don't look at our own as that. We always look at them as a threat, a potential competition. Oh, I can't deal with my people. Oh, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with that. But everybody else, even if you can't deal with them, you tolerate them, but you have no tolerance for your own. That is a learned behavior. That's not our culture. It is not our culture. It is a learned behavior, and it's a detriment to our people. It's self-destructive. Rise up, my people. Rise up. We'll talk soon. One love.